Okay, so first off, I'm going to tell you what we're going to be learning. We're going to be learning about actions, alright? As a cleaner, actions are the greatest utility we can use. And the reason why is because it practically cuts our time in half or more. I'm starting off with the action tutorial first because of the fact that I'm going to be using this for everything that I do, pretty much. Now, how you get to the actions portion is through window and then actions. And you'll get this that pops up. So I'm going to be walking you through how to create actions. Now what an action is Photoshop will record any command that you make, and then at any time in the future you can replay it, and Photoshop will do exactly what you did during that time when you had recorded. Now obviously this isn't really that great for the manual cleaning, but it is great for organization, preparation, and a lot of the real tedious stuff that you do that you really shouldn't do manually. So how we go about doing this is right down here we're going to create a new area, a new set, and we'll name this tutorial just because. Now that creates the file list. Now I usually use these groups for the different mangas that I had. I recently formatted my computer, so I only have one right now, but I had a bunch before for each different manga that I cleaned. Now what we do is we go down to here. This will create our first set. I'll start off with the pre-cleaning set because that is probably going to give us the most generalized way of how you go about doing this. So pre-cleans. So now it's going to record everything that I do. Now, firstly, I would rotate this first and crop it, which I will explain how to do in the other tutorials. But after that, I will now organize all my files. So I usually, during the cropping process, have my first original layer renamed from background, which is what you're usually going to import it as, to layer 0. And then what I do is I duplicate this into the master layer, which is what we're going to be working on, and the master copy. And then we create a group, put both of these in that group, and then we go down to here and create a level. Alright, now you can do the exact same thing by going into Image, Adjustments, and Levels. Sorry, not Layers. Layers, New Adjustment Layer, and Levels. And I'll just make that Levels. Now, some people prefer to do Image, Adjustment, Levels, and then do this. I personally don't like doing this because unless you are actually playing with saving for web images, it really doesn't make that much of a difference, and even then it hardly makes a difference in the terms of the quality like you're talking about in the pixels. So we really don't need to concern ourselves with that, and this is the best way to do it because of the fact that you can then go in afterwards and fix your levels if, for say, you over level or something like that. So we're going to keep that there, and that is fine actually. So that's our I'm going to delete that because I accidentally touched the adjustment layer, which I didn't want, but that is our pre-cleans. Now let's say you get onto another thing, another page, and you have done the cropping and the rotating. Then all you need to do is press this magic button and it's all formatted for you. Alright? This is very useful for the organization, which I will tell you about in a sec, and for doing a lot of the tedious cleaning methods that I will explain later. Now, the reason why we have it in such an organized format is because the master layer is what you're going to be actually working on. Alright? Now, let me give you an example. So, we're going to just level this. So, leveling this, you can still see that there's dust and such. But leveling this does not affect any of the layers. Alright? It affects all the layers. Anything under it, it will affect, which is great, because when you want to compare to things, for example, later on we're going to be talking about over-leveling and under-leveling. Now, this setup organization is a perfect way to do this because you're going to be doing the dusting on the master copy. Alright? So that means you're going to be taking a bunch of tools along with the burn and dodge tool, and you're going to be scraping away at all this dust. In the process, you're going to be accidentally scraping away at this stuff. Now, you wouldn't notice it. Sometimes you don't notice it because it's usually at like 10%, so stuff like that. Alright? But you will notice it when you compare it to the underlying copies. Anyways, the point is that with these actions, you can do a lot of things that are very tedious and will help you on later. For example, with my action, I do a lot of bulking, which means that I will rotate every page, and then I will crop every page, and then I will do the pre-cleans, and then I'll take away all the text, and then I'll do the white dust, black dust, white dust check, black dust check. So, for example, in my switching left, because I usually import all my images at the same time, the last ones are my first ones. So what you do is you take the I'll explain how to do the rotational stuff later, but you rotate it, and then what you can do is with the rotation you will have a straightened layer. So once you draw this line for the rotating, you can hit straighten layer and then hit the next page. And that action will allow you to do all the pages without switching from the rule. All you have to do is draw the line, hit the button, draw the line, hit the button, draw the line, hit the button. The same thing goes for the cropping. I have that to switch right because once I'm all the way at the end, I can go back. So I'll crop, hit the button, and it will automatically do the cropping for me, and then switch to the next picture. Crop, button, crop, button, crop, button. And then I pre-clean them all, so I just switch to each thing, pre-clean, and so and so. For the white dust action, how I get rid of dust is I have the magic wand tool, and I can just point and click, and this selects all the common areas. Now, most of the dust has went away. Now, I'll be going into this more firmly, but as you can see, a lot of the dust is gone. And that's pretty much the beauty of actions. Now you can play with them as much as you want, figure out your own personal settings for the actions, but settings are actually one of the most important things when it comes to cleaning. So it's best if you learn how to use actions very quickly. I'll see you in the next tutorial.